Hello and welcome to this pick a card reading. If you are seeing this video right now, you have been divinely guided here. This is a timeless reading, and I just want you to go ahead and take a minute and choose which of these crystals you feel most drawn to. White little ghost, green sphere, and we have our little amethyst ghost. He's my favorite. Please go ahead and meditate over whichever one of these you feel most drawn to. And we are going to go ahead and get into the reading. If you chose Amethyst Ghost, you are pile number 1. So in this reading, we're going to be getting into what are the financial blessings that are trying to come through for you? What financial blessings? Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, these are very interesting. Okay. So with 2 of these, we're going off to a far off destination, something having to do with water. Water could be something that's very significant to you. You could be a Pisces, you could be a water sign. We're also seeing the sun here, so fire signs could be something that is significant as well. You and your partner could be a water and an air sign, or a water and a fire sign. You could live somewhere with lots of water. You could live somewhere with lots of palm trees. You could live on an island. But I am seeing something about paradise. So I think that you have been really manifesting something for a very long time. Here we do see happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, and enjoying each other. So your financial blessing could be coming in the form of a partnership, in the form of a romantic partnership, possibly. But we're also seeing partying external. So this could be good. This does seem to me to be a very positive card. And what it's trying to say, I believe, is that you should be getting ready to have a very glamorous life, a very glamorous lifestyle, lots of glitz, lots of glamour. Definitely, just I think maybe a different type of lifestyle than what you might be living now. I think right now you might be very focused on work. Right now you might be very focused on keeping to yourself, saving money, things like that. But it does show here that you are going to be having kind of a party lifestyle, or that you are going to be doing something that's very social. Now, it could be saying here that in order to get the financial blessings that you're looking for, you do have to put yourself out there a bit more. This is showing me that there has been some loss or some rejection in terms of finances. So, that could be very significant to you. That could be resonating. You could have been sitting there, sort of kind of like this woman in the picture. She's sitting there, she's thinking. To me, it kind of reads that she's wondering, why is this happening to her? I think that a lot of us do tend to get caught up with stuff like that. We tend to get caught up with feeling like the worst things possible are happening to us, or that we're constantly getting knocked down. Again, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But I think that a lot of times these types of things happen, and we don't necessarily know that it might feel as if something bad is happening, but we're actually being put in on a different path, or being pushed in a direction that we didn't expect, because there's something better on that path for us. It does show here butterfly. Butterflies could be very significant to you, or for you. You could have a butterfly tattoo, or somebody who you love could have a butterfly tattoo, or maybe you just want to get one. but it does show that the relationship is evolving. Now, I think that this is a card that's probably more geared toward relationship. However, in the circumstance of money and finances and financial blessings, I do feel like this just shows the, evolution of your finances and the evolution of where you're going financially and your future, and that you are getting to the next phase. And I think that financially, maybe when you were a kid or when you were growing up, finances were not super good, or that you guys were always kind of maybe struggling, or not struggling, but maybe you guys didn't have everything. You couldn't always get that toy you wanted, you couldn't always get certain things that you wanted. And I think maybe that's left you to feel some financial insecurities. So that by getting to this next step financially and having that financial security finally, you're going to be kind of healing an inner child wound and having growth in yourself. Truth and expression. Now, this color is what's very much standing out to me. It's a very vivid color. Truth and expression. So I think that it's showing that I feel like you're almost, because of your finances, you feel you're unable to really truly express yourself in the way that you want to. You don't feel like you're being your authentic self. And I think that a lot of times, maybe, you can't have your hair a certain color, you can't have certain things that you want, you can't wear the makeup you want, you can't wear the clothes that you want, because you have to fit into a certain look to do your job or to work where you work. So that might be something that, you no longer, you're not going to have to do anymore. Runner. This guy he's running. So I feel like whatever it is that whatever this blessing is that's coming towards you, it's definitely coming extremely swiftly. Now, this card does talk about a codependent relationship, and I think that that's probably talking about your relationship, or how it feels, your relationship with work and finances. Maybe it's not even, you don't have a very good relationship with finances right now, but it is showing that eventually you will be moving past that. Healing heart. So I am seeing that you are going to be, this is kind of pointing out healing from heartbreak, freedom from a toxic relationship or an addiction. And a lot of these cards they're geared towards relationship, but you use them in the context of the reading. And in the context of this reading, we're talking about manifestations, we're talking about financial blessings and stuff like that. And I think that we have to kind of look at it from that angle. So avoidance. I think that there has been a manifestation that you've been, there's something that you've really been wanting and wishing and thinking of. And I feel like you've been kind of avoiding your current reality because you've been so focused on the future, and that's actually a good thing, and you should continue to have that. Let's pull a few more cards. Let's see, what more can we expect? What type of manifestation, what type of blessing is coming towards this collective? Self-worth, hustling. Okay, perfect. So here, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This card does symbolize earth signs. Earth signs are very much in association with, finances, abundance. It says here strength, compassion, completion, optimism, suffering. So it shows that you may have suffered very much in your past, or you may be suffering now and kind of like desperately waiting for something good to happen. I do feel like whatever it is going to happen, because right here, this card, with this card and this card, we see that you will have victory, progress, and self-confidence. So continuing here, self-worth. I think that your self-worth is very much tied to your finances. I think that's what makes you feel like you have a purpose, like you have a meaning. You've always been a person who's been hustling. You've never really had that time to get out of survival, that fight or flight mode. You've been, I think, either living beyond your means or trying to make it seem like you have more than what you do. And I think that that's probably, again, coming from that childhood wound that I am sensing here for somebody in the collective. You do seem like you have an obsession with work. So I feel like your finances definitely, are not a result of, a lack of work. I think that you've been dealt a pretty bad hand of cards, initially. But I do feel like you're a good hearted person. You're a kind person. You've been working very hard. And I think that actually it's time for you to kind of take a step back and take a break. Having some self-discipline is a thing here. It's an important thing. And having self-discipline doesn't always mean pushing yourself to do things. Sometimes having self-discipline means knowing when enough is enough. And I think that that's something that some of you in the collective are struggling with, is not knowing when enough is enough. Some of you are dealing with a lack of direction, a lack of control, and I think that that is making some of you feel very angry. That's very normal, very, very normal. But ultimately, I think that whatever it is you're looking for, by the month of October, you're going to have this big blessing is going to come in. By the month of October, you're going to get the public recognition that you've always craved and desired. You're going to get that victory. You're going to get that progress. And I think that all of this is going to kind of help fill in a missing piece for yourself. Overall, it does seem like you can expect some good news or some type of progress and at least some type of a healing. I think healing some type of a financial wound, collective. So if you've made it this far, thank you. And I hope to see you in the next reading, and I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. If you have chosen this crystal, you are collective number 2. So let's jump into your reading. What can collective number 2 expect in financial blessings? What financial blessings are coming to collective number 2? Okay. That's so crazy. That is so crazy because the first collective, their prediction was for October. Okay, so I think that this fall is just going to be extremely blessed for everybody. Let's see what else comes up. What type of blessing? What type of financial blessing? Where does this blessing come from? Golden mirror, a love call, a butterfly again. Talking. Okay, so as we see here, this card, this is a very good card. This is a card about having an open hand to receive. And I believe that what this card is trying to show us, collective, is that you have to have your hand open. You have to have your hand open and ready to receive. I believe that a lot of you have opportunities that have been coming towards you, but I think that a lot of you have this mindset that you can't just receive handouts. You don't want to receive handouts. No, thank you. Don't give it to me. Give it to somebody else. Give it to somebody else who needs it more. You have this mentality that you aren't deserving. You are not deserving of kindness or to have people help you along. Somewhere, the collective, some of you have been made to feel that it's not okay to take help. It's not okay to have your hand open. It's not okay to receive things that others want to give you. So here we have autumn, the harvest. So I think that that's more of a timeline from what we can expect of when this blessing is going to come through. We see here a lot of, falling leaves, leaves that are turning colors. So it would probably be significant to some of you. Some of you probably live in a heavily wooded area where leaves are falling and stuff like this. It kind of goes on to this one because this looks like a very heavily wooded area. And it also seems like it's rainy in both of these photos. So I think that places where it's heavily wooded, places where it's very rainy, so it kind of sounds like Seattle, could be significant to some of you. So it shows here decisions. So I think that whatever blessings are going to come towards you, uh, there's going to be, it feels like multiple to me, multiple blessings or multiple opportunities. And I think that you're going to have a decision to make, definitely. I believe that whatever it is, you might even be overwhelmed. Like, I think that you've been working towards multiple things. I'm seeing something about graphic designing. So maybe graphic designing, that's probably, something for some of you. It's probably significant for some of you. Some of you have applied to a new job. I'm seeing some of you applied to something that you feel you're completely not qualified for, but I'm feeling like you're going to get that thing, whatever it is. And I think that, like, some of you are going after things and you're doing it just on a whim because it feels good, or it's something that you would want, or it's something you've always dreamed of, and you're thinking to yourself, there's no way I'm going to get this because I'm not qualified and I'm not, I can't possibly do this thing. But it feels like Spirit is saying you should get ready because it's probably actually going to happen for you. And when it does happen, it's going to cause you to have like kind of a dilemma, because you're going to then have to choose between your job that you have now, your safety net, and going forward on this path of the unknown, basically. Okay, now we see growth and summertime. We also see the ocean and the sunset. So sunsets could be very significant to some of you in the collective. Some of you probably live by the ocean. But essentially, kind of from what the picture is, it's like have your hand open to receiving things. By autumn, something will come. You have to make the decision if you choose to go on the path of growth. By summer, you're probably going to have a completely different life. Here we see sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting. So for some of you, I think that you are being gaslit into believing you're not good enough, or you're being gaslit into believing that this is all that there is for you. Maybe that's even you. Maybe you're gaslighting yourself. But I think that I am also seeing like somebody stalking on social media, somebody watching your social media, like haters. I think that you have a lot of people possibly in your life, or friends of friends, or maybe these are your partner's family members who are kind of just like, they give a very hatery vibe. They're kind of looking at your social media, and I think that they're keeping tabs on you to make sure that you're not doing better than them. I think a lot of people are very threatened and intimidated by you. Right. And see, these people who I'm picking up on, whoever they are, they're very self-absorbed, and they're narcissists. But also, when it shows one-sided relationships. So to me, it's like they're having an imaginary beef that doesn't exist. Like, you're not even in on this beef. You couldn't care less about these people. You don't stalk them. It's not a mutual stalking going on. They're just like, you're living in their heads rent-free. They're obsessed with you. And then we see someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. So obviously that seems very self-explanatory. Some of you are going to be receiving a phone call, a very positive phone call, or a very positive message. It does seem like this is probably from a loved one, maybe somebody who you've not spoken to in a while. And this card came up in the first collective as well. Butterfly. And again, this could be like, butterflies could be very significant to you. You could really love butterflies. The color purple is very significant here. Maybe you have a butterfly tattoo, or maybe somebody who is very significant to you has a butterfly tattoo. Maybe you and your best friend have matching butterfly tattoos. It feels like somebody has a very close friend. I don't know. It's like a close friend who passed away. The energy of that person is coming through, and it's something to do with butterflies. But butterflies are always very significant with, passed over loved ones. Talking, interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives. So, okay. So I think that this is, again, going back to that thing that we were talking about. Like somebody's applying for something, or you guys are applying for something. I think essentially this is sort of just trying to say, like, just put yourself out there. If there's something you want, go for it. Your hand has to be open to receive. Blessings do happen, but also sometimes you have to go after those blessings. So I do see, if you're waiting for a message, a text, a call, it's going to be coming in. Let's do a few tarot cards for any last messages. Okay. So we have the King of Cups here. You are extremely emotionally balanced. You are compassionate. You are very much in control of your life and your surroundings, which is probably a new thing for some of you, because I feel like some of you may have come from backgrounds that were very unstable, but now you're moving forward into a point where you are very stable. You are very balanced. I think a lot of you are working on yourselves emotionally. A lot of you are working on your mental health, and that's very good. You're a good leader. You've always been a natural leader. You're a kind leader. You're a supportive leader. And I think that you are ready to have more leadership roles in your life. And I think that's kind of what the universe is going to be bringing to you. Impulsiveness, ruthless, high expectations, haste, unachievable expectations. Now, this could be you for some of you in the collective. Some of you might have unachievable expectations. Impulsiveness, that could be coming from an outside source. I don't feel like too many of you are very impulsive. I think a lot of you are very calculated. Ruthless and high expectations, that could be your current workplace, honestly. That's kind of what it's coming through like. Greed, overindulgence, material loss, stubborn, obsessed with wealth, status, financially inept. Now, this could be some of those people that we were talking about. Now, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I think that there were a lot of people like this in your life, or a lot of people, maybe they were friends, people who are trying to kind of hold you down and keep you down with them. Because I think that misery really loves company, So some people saw you and saw the light that was shining within you, and they kind of wanted to stifle that, hold it down, because they were greedy and they were overindulgent. Now, I think that essentially what it's saying is a lot of people in your life, they're going to go through things. And it does feel like somebody, or these people, it does feel like you have a negative group of people who kind of, are not necessarily in your life, but they're around you. These people are going to go through material loss, and they're obsessed with wealth and status, and they're going to see you gaining all these things, and that's going to really rub them the wrong way. I think what this card is trying to show us: delays, frustration, holding off, waiting, panic, slow down. Okay. So in the past, I think that you've had times like this, and there have been delays, and those delays have made you feel very, frustrated, and that there was a lot of panic in that. I think what the universe and what the spirit is trying to say now is that we should not have a repeat of the past. We should learn from the past, and we should move forward. Don't get frustrated when things aren't going your way. When there are delays, it's okay. When there are delays, just breathe. Breathe and try to accept it and let whatever's going to happen. But I honestly feel like a lot of really big things are happening for a lot of you in the collective. The message is essentially not to let people dictate your life, not to let people try to hold you down, and don't, just because people are going to be jealous of you doesn't mean you should dim yourself, basically. So I really hope that you've enjoyed your reading, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next one. Goodbye. And if you have chosen our little white ghost, you are our third and final collective. So let's see what messages, what blessings are coming towards the collective, and what you can expect. What messages are there for collective number 3, Spirit? Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, collective. So it seems like maybe not all blessings are financial. A lot of this seems like it might actually just be romantic. So here we see home, family, commitment, 2 people holding hands with a little pair of baby shoes. So to me, this is showing your blessings could come through marriage. Your blessings could come through a partner. Your blessings could come from your actual family. You could have some type of, inheritance or something that your family is going to be giving you. But honestly, this kind of feels like you might be getting into a relationship with somebody who is very wealthy. Now, I think for a lot of you in the collective, that's not really your style, obviously. But it seems like the person who would be coming through, I don't feel like the relationship or the connection would be solely for money. I don't feel like a lot of you are that type of, you don't just want to be with somebody just because they have money. But I feel like it's something where it would be like you really have a good connection and this person also has money or means. So I am seeing a spark and a renewal. So to me, this kind of shows like maybe this is somebody from the past coming through because of the part where it says renewal. Now, for some of you, this could be a renewal of a spark within yourself. Now, this woman is holding sparklers. So 4th of July could be very significant. Barbecues could be very significant. Meeting people at family gatherings could be very significant. For some of you, your family members have somebody they want to set you up with. And a lot of you are kind of dragging your feet on that. But I kind of feel like Spirit is trying to say, maybe you should give that person a chance. And again, twin flames. So I think a lot of you is kind of showing me like you've lost connection with your twin flame, or maybe you and your twin flame have split apart. Now, this is for some people in the collective. Of course, not everything is going to be for everybody, but it feels like some of you have, disconnected with your twin flame. And it feels as if this person and you are going to be reconnecting again. Now here we see higher self activation. So I think that a lot of you are also getting in tune with your spirituality. Some of you could be professional psychics. Some of you could be readers. Some of you could be, psychic without actually doing it as a profession. But I feel like some of you could be very successful if you stepped into that field or stepped into that sort of atmosphere. But I think your higher self has a lot that it wants to share with you, and it's probably very worth it for you to get in contact with that part of yourself. That's probably something you should be looking into, and that in itself could unlock a lot of financial blessings, but also just blessings in general. So here we see palm tree. Palm trees could be very significant to some of you. It could be a tattoo. You could live by palm trees. You could really just like palm trees. But here we see stability, security, permanence, and growth. Now, I feel like permanence is a big one. It's a very important part because you've had large sums of money before, but it's like as if these large sums of money, they come and go. You're not really easily impressed by money. But I feel like it's as if whatever is coming, it's going to be very permanent. You're never going to worry again about, honestly, it just seems like you're never going to have to worry about working again. Keys on a ring, many options, decisions, unconventional. Keys could be very, very significant. Keys are very symbolic of unlocking doors, unlocking opportunities. So keep that in mind. Keys might be something that's very significant to you, but it seems like whatever it is, it's going to be somewhat unconventional for some of you. You are going to have a lot of decisions. There are going to be a lot of options for you. Seduction, attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. So going back to this card, the twin flame card, third-party interference comes up to me. It seems very significant. So possibly you and your twin flame broke up or separated because of a third-party interference and temptation. Here we have like a little picture of a woman on top of a desk. So it could have been a workplace third-party interference. The temptation could have happened to your person when they were at work, something like that. That could be very significant. However, I do feel like this person will be coming back. And now I know maybe some of you aren't interested in that, but it feels like when it happens, I think that it's going to feel different. I think the connection will be there. Again, because I think the renewal and the spark, it's going to renew the relationship. I think a lot of you are going to be transcending obstacles, definitely going into a new phase and preparing for a union. So I'm telling you guys, this one really seems like Spirit is trying to tell you to prepare to meet somebody or be with somebody who's going to kind of change your life or put your life in a different place or like a different tax bracket. I don't know. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say. Do you have any parting messages, any clarifiers for us? Anything you need to tell the collective? Living in the past, diligence. Okay. Perfect. I see. So this card is in the reverse. It's a little bit hard to see it. You're living in the past. You need to forgive. There is a lack of playfulness in your life, and you need to kind of allow yourself to live again. Move forward, leaving home and independence. Now, I really think that this one is talking about this. Whoever was from your past, that person is coming back as a different person. And I think that Spirit is really trying to say that when this person does come around, don't just write them off. Give them a chance, talk to them at least, because I think that this person has a lot that they have to give, and that they want to give, and they want to prove themselves to you. Now, sometimes, it's too late to apologize. Sometimes, you cannot forgive, but I think Spirit is urging you to at least give it a chance. So it's saying right now, diligence, passion, high standards, apprenticeship, mastery, skill development, repetitive tasks. So I think that whatever it is that's your blessing, you've been working towards it for a very, very long time. You are, you're very passionate about this thing, whatever it is. You have very high standards when it comes to your work. And I think that that's really going to start to be rewarded, and it's going to start to be actually like you're going to get that recognition that you've deserved for such a long time. So you are going to be recovering from financial loss, spiritual poverty, charity, and improvement. So overall, there will be improvements with your financial state. Um, Also, spiritual poverty is a thing, and it's a very serious thing. So I think that when we were talking about working on yourself spiritually, trying to get right, trying to get in line, more meditation, trying to open up and hear what your higher self has to say, I think that there is a message there, and the message that your higher self has for you is not going to come through in this pick a card, reading, this collective reading. That's something that you are going to have to decipher for yourself. And if you do, I think that it will be, very extremely rewarding. But overall, we see new beginnings, possibilities, innocence, being spontaneous, having a trust in life, and just overall being uninhibited by life, which is very difficult because sometimes life does get to us and sometimes life can beat us down and hurt us. But I think that the blessing that you're about to receive is going to leave you feeling youthful, young, and uninhibited and unafraid to move forward with your passions and move forward and not feel, you know, bitter or jaded. Because I think that some of you have been feeling very bitter because of certain obstacles that you've been faced with. But that is the reading for you, collective number 3. And I really, really hope that you've enjoyed. And I really thank you for choosing me to be your reader. I hope to see you again in the next one. Goodbye.